With the constant Brexit conversation, it's easy to forget what the Conservatives have achieved in government. We've actually run a sound economic policy for the last 9 years, where we took on one of the biggest post-war debts this country's ever seen, putting us on a par with countries like Greece that ultimately had to be bailed out. And yet today we're in a situation where we no longer have to borrow any money for revenue spending. This has left the government with a £27 billion chequebook that we can use in the spending review this autumn to invest in our public services. Our public services have had to share the burden of getting our economic situation back on track. However, we have already outlined a 10-year plan for the NHS, one of the first things to be done in history, and £20 billion of extra spending. As Conservatives, we recognise the importance of sound fiscal economic competence. And that sound competence has led us to a situation where we can address the main concerns that the public are facing in terms of their schools, in terms of their police forces, in terms of the NHS, in terms of GP services. But we know that you cannot just keep writing cheques and borrowing the money. Labour's plans would borrow an extra £1 trillion, which would plunge this country back into the worst debt we've seen, way beyond that achieved after the economic crisis, in a period where that is totally unnecessary. We don't need to raise taxes. We can actually invest in our public services because of the way we've run the economy. We should be proud that as Conservatives, we are doing what is right for this country and the ability to move it forward. So yes, we are struggling through difficult times. We must deliver on the will of the people for the Brexit outcome. But at the same time, we must be proud of the fact that it's this government, this party, that has put this country on a sound footing, and we should go out and sell that message.